turn corrugated pram on wheels.
My name's Naughty! You can't get the stuff off, you know.
Open the back door, there's a dead cow on the step.
Here comes the log cabin!
Blow its bloody head off!
Thank you. This is the best city in the country with the best people. No doubt about it. Thank you very much. Well, you've chosen the material tonight from your requests and stuff. So you're responsible, really. And we've had a few odd requests. We've had somebody from Newark wanted the dead parrot sketch. Well, it's Newark, isn't it? Right? The only town in Britain that's an anagram of wanker. You're working it out now, I know. And we've got some Australians in tonight. Hooray, yes, well, good. You can always tell Australians. You can't tell them much, but they know how to lose so gracefully. Their rugby team's having a rough time. They had a practice match last week and lost 52-0 to a passerby. It would have been worse, but the woman in question had to leave the field because her waters broke. I mean, I've been to Australia a couple of times. It's a great country. And what you have to be aware of, you know, if you've been, you'll know, and if you're going, you better know, is that sticky tape in Australia is called Durex. We have sellotape, seriously, they have Durex. It throws you for a while. There's a sign saying, do not stick Durex on the walls. Well, I wasn't about to, but I was in a shop and a big Aussie came and he said, roll a Durex. A roll? Blimey, how quick do you go, pal? You know what? It's Aussie foreplay, isn't it? Ah, brace yourself, Sheila. And they gave him a big roll of sticky tape. I thought, I've heard of do it yourself, but come on. It's like in America when when you go to America. Condoms in America are rubbers. We have rubbers here, but they have erasers. You know? I was in a stationer's and I went in and I said, could I have a rubber, please? You just want one? I said, well, yeah, I don't make that many mistakes, you know? You got one with a Mickey Mouse on the end I can chew? Called the police. Anyway, I'm in a rebellious mood tonight. Are you rebels? Yeah! Oh no. Oh, never come late. Never come late when you're on the front row with a comedian here. No, you mustn't do it. All right, where are you from? Hall Green. Ooh, very nice too. Oh, Hall Green. There's some lovely houses there, aren't there? Do you live near any of them? Have you got a pound coin on you? Go on, have you got a pound coin? No? Have you got a pound coin? Go on, good. Let's have a pound coin. Where are you from?
I'm from Kettering.
Kettering? Bloody hell, you've come away, haven't you? Thank you very much. From Kettering, thank you. My dad, God bless him, always used to say to me, Jasper, never ever shove coins of the realm up your nose. Well, I'm a rebel. If I want to shove coins of the realm up my nose, I will shove coins of the realm up my nose. I can do it with either nostril. There you go. Okay. So, £1 a night, it mounts up, you know. I've got a jar full of these at home. Eh? They're all stuck together, but who cares? I'm an insomniac, you know. Are you? Yeah. Insomnia is a solo affliction. Now, you think about this. Whenever you are bright, wide awake, 4 a.m. in the morning, no matter how many people are in bed with you at the same time. You into that? Hyatt Hotel after the show? Room 1020? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Have you been to the Hyatt? No? What a sense of humour they've got. You're at the bar thinking, shall I buy a round of drinks or a villa in Marbella? Is this bill in lira or something? But, hey, the bedrooms are fantastic and the bathrooms, brilliant. You know, great big fluffy fleecy towels. I can hardly close my suitcase. Anyway. Think about it. When you are bright, wide awake, 4 a.m. in the morning, guaranteed your partner is rock solid out. And isn't that infuriating when you can't get to sleep and they are zedding away? Shut up! And they always go through the same 3 stages of sleep. They always start off by fly catching, don't they? Shut up! Then they go through that stage when they only ever breathe in. Breathe out, for Christ's sake! They start sucking all the air out of the room. And they start that silly laughing business. Oh, shut up! Stop it, Malcolm. What? Who's Malcolm? Who's Malcolm? Who's Malcolm? The bread's in the middle of the road. People talk absolute gobbledygook when they're asleep. Nothing wakes them. Nothing wakes them until you are asleep. Then they hear the goldfish fart. What's that noise? What's that noise? Wake up! Wake up! It's burglars! We're being attacked! Wake up! Wake up! It's burglars! Wake up! Wake up! What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? I've tried everything to cure it. I bought a waterbed, left me electric blanket on the first night. I woke up poached. And what do you do with your hands in bed? These are blooming awkward things, aren't they? You know, are they on top of the sheets, under the sheets, behind it? Anyway, to save me eyesight, oh, you are insomniacs. Oh, I cut 2 holes in the mattress so I could lie my stomach and put my arms through, you know. It's all right till you turn over in the middle of the night. You've got a bloody great bed on top of you, don't you? And you have all this time to think, just hours and hours of time to think about anything and everything. I mean, the meaning of life, the end of the universe, easy peasy to an insomniac. I'm on to obscure tangents now, you know. If you unscrew your navel, will your bum fall off? And of course, when you're wide awake, all you do is worry, you know. I mean, for a start, you're in bed with at least 10 million bed bugs. Oh, that's scary, isn't it? And they live on bits of dead skin. And yeah, that's why they love it when you come back from 2 weeks in Spain. You know? And they're thinking, oh, crackling. And the silly things people say. I know, I mean, come on. Like, I mean, how many times you've been driving down the motorway, you're doing about 70, 80 mile an hour, you know, you got your auntie or somebody next to you, and somebody overtakes you at about 140. Ooh. What do they say? He won't get there any quicker. It's too cold to snow. South Pole, it's 40 degrees below. There's millions of tons of the stuff, you know. A while ago, I got hit right between the eyes with the cricket ball. Right smack in the middle. I mean, eyes puffed up and black and blue, and I was a white mess. And I'd walk around and people say, what happened to you? And I'd tell them I got smacked right between the eyes with the cricket ball. And they all said the same thing. Blimey. Whew, you were lucky. And moths worry me. Moths worry me. Why is it you never see a moth in the daytime? All that light. All that light and you never see a moth. You go to bed at night, turn on your tiny reading lamp, bloody great moth. All his mates banging on the window trying to get in. Yeah? And goldfish used to worry me. Not now, because goldfish, as you may well know, have a memory retention of just 4 seconds. And I thought, oh, what a shame. And then I realised, of course, that's why they're so happy. You put a couple in a goldfish bowl, they're happy for the rest of their life. They just go round all day, and the one goes, hey, look at that castle. What's a castle? I don't know, why are you asking? Asking what? I don't know, who are you? I don't know. Look at that castle. And then I got worried because I read an article that there's a shortage of guide dogs for the blind. And I worried about it, and then suddenly I had the answer. Hey, guide cats. All right, not as good as a dog, but we'll get you through until you can get one. Can you imagine having a guide cat? You'd spend most of the day under the car, wouldn't you? You have to go for walks on garden fences with the thing, you know. You'd have to hide in the bush with it and wait for a car to come along and then dash across the road. Worries. The techno age worries me. I'm a technophobe. I mean, the internet and email. I mean, email is what a Yorkshireman receives in the post. You know, email. And I worry about. I mean, like I've got all the satellites. They're going to add another 100 channels to satellite. I mean, the channel change is big enough as it is. I mean, what size is that going to be? Hey, where's the sofa? It's fallen down the back of the remote control. I thought I will join the technological age. And I bought a cordless telephone. And now I can't find it. I could find the old one, it was tied to the wall. I never learned. 6 months ago, I bought some electronic gates for the drive. 6 months ago. I still cannot remember that when I'm driving in, the gates open out. The motor is like a stock car. And the bloke next door, he's had a pacemaker fitted, so every time I open the gates, he runs round the block at 90 mile an hour. and flying. I have a fear of flying. Or to give it its correct medical term, a fear of smacking into the ground. The flying doesn't bother me. And of course, with the advent of all these cheap flights now, I mean, you know, all the easy jet-com travel, like whatever it is, I mean, I don't know, I'm just a bit sort of hot under the collar. I took one about 3 weeks ago and I walked across the tarmac and the pilot was kicking the tyres. He looked at me and said, "Should be all right." They were trying to jump-start it from a Vauxhall Viva, you know. I got on the plane, they took the steps away and the plane fell over, you know. And you can get flights now from Coventry Airport. Oh, come on. It's the only runway I've seen with a cattle grid. But airports, I think, are more dangerous than flying. I mean, for a start, you have to go and get your luggage from the carousel. I mean, that's Dunkirk, isn't it? People are there going, "Get out of it, this is my space, I'm waiting, get out, you one stab, punch." And you never see baggage handlers. You never see baggage handlers. You see shadowy figures through those strips of plastic hanging down, you know. They're like the Yeti. You know they exist. You've seen their footprints in your luggage. You never see, and then you've got to go through customs. This is petrifying me. I mean, like, and everybody else, you know, because like all you can think about is Midnight Express, isn't it? And you're just going through and thinking like, have I got it right? You know, what are you allowed? You know, 3 bottles of perfume, 14 gallons of wine, and of course, most times I'm going through customs, I've got a guitar case. And if you're carrying a guitar case, you might just as well have a sign above your head saying, "Drug smuggler, search my bottom." Over here, sir. Thank you. What's in the guitar case? A mouth organ. Straight into the interrogation room. You know. There's a baggage handler with a rubber glove on his hand waiting for him. Birmingham customs are red hot. I mean, don't try it on in Birmingham. And a couple of years ago, I tried to get away with going through customs with a watch. And I bought a watch in Spain. It was off a beach salesman. Well, I should have known better. But I was lying on the beach, not doing much, and I got a towel over my toes up to my nose, nose guard on a hat, and white face cream. And he comes up and he said, "English?" How can they tell? He said, "Would you like to buy a watch?" I said, "Well, I might do." So he got this watch out. It was very nice looking. He was a brilliant salesman. He sold it to me at exactly midday because there's only one hand on the damn thing. So I paid him 50,000 pesetas, you see. And I got off the plane at Birmingham. I thought, like, well, I've paid enough for it. I'll take a chance. And I put it down my underpants. And I was just about to go through customs. And what I didn't know is that this watch had an alarm on it. And it was the Birdie song. And I start going through customs with the Birdie song coming from my underpants. The customs officer watched me, you know. And I thought I got away with it, but his mate came in and went, "Hey, Carrott! Hey, you got the time on your cock?" We've got some new neighbours at home. What a pain in the butt they are. There's this German shepherd, he keeps leaping over the fence and crapping on me lawn. And he's got this dog. I haven't heard that one myself, it's not bad. I like silly things like that. I've got an aunt, I've got a dotty aunt, we've all got dotty aunts. And I went round to see her a while ago, and it was at night, and we're having a cup of tea, and Crime Watch was on the television, and they put this photo-fit picture of this bloke on the screen, and they said, "Have you seen this man?" And my auntie phoned in and said, "No." It's just funny people. People into horoscopes and astrology, I'm sorry, they're very sad. They are, you know, you're at parties and gatherings and they'll sort you out. Hello, hello, what sign are you? Oh, humpback bridge. Oh. Slippery when wet, that's a good one. Do you remember Doris Stokes? Remember Doris Stokes? She was a medium, if you don't remember. She was a medium a few years ago. And I knew her, I'd met her a few times, and she's a dear old soul. And she's on the other side now, to be fair. And she never calls, she never writes. But she had a wonderful scam going. I thought it was brilliant. And she was this medium, and she could fill the Royal Albert Hall. She was really popular, and could fill it for a week, you know. And she'd come out every night, 6,500 people go, yes, yes, yes. Is there anybody here called John? Yes, yes, my name's John. Oh, how does she do it? Oh, it's a gift. And people into dangerous sports. I don't get it at all, you know. Where they left their brains. I mean, like hang gliding, throwing yourself off Beachy Head attached to a frame tent. I tried that water skiing in Spain last year. What a waste of time that is, like a rich man's enema. Ice cold water shooting up your bum, 45 mile an hour. Ooh. Here's 50 euros, take me round the bay again. I might be empty after that one, you know. And bungee jumping. I mean, come on, this is train spotters having an hour off, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's just a way of getting your contact lens out, isn't it? I had a pop at them on television. Oh, the letters they sent me. Don't knock it if you haven't tried it, Carrott. And I had to go down to Bristol and sort them out. And they jump off Clifton Suspension Bridge, you see. And they're ever so enthusiastic. It's a very exact science, Jasper. You know, we get it down to the last millimetre, you know. Would you like your head to go into the water? Oh, not unless I'm kneeling on the bloody bang pal, that's No, there they were, tossing themselves off. One of the bungee jumpers was blind. A blind bungee jumper, you need a bit of bottle to do that, don't you? It was amazing listening to a Labrador scream at 300... At least the bloke knew when he was getting near the water because the lead went slack, you know? You ever been to a fondue party? What a waste of time that is, isn't it? 12 of you sitting around a table staring at a cauldron, breathing in paraffin fumes, you know? And you're armed with a skewer with a lump of cheddar on the end and a cube of bread. And well, what a knockout meal this is. Oh, you've really gone to town for us, haven't you? I don't think I can eat all of this. You all stick it in the pot at the same time and it starts bubbling and fizzing and spitting great big gobs of hot fat over everybody. It's like a do-it-yourself napalm kit. And the hostess comes in going, something smells nice. Yes, it's my face. Everybody goes home looking like Freddy Krueger. You've been to a fondue party? Yes, how do you do now? I was in Newcastle a while ago. And I did a show for Nissan, the car people, you know. And I've never understood why Nissan set up their car factory in the northeast, because how the hell do they understand each other? You know? Oh, you put the gearbox in the car. Why, I is a canny bugger like, you know. And of course, Newcastle is machismo city. The blokes really fancy themselves, and they are hard, you know. Well, you see them, St James's Park, you know, on Match of the Day, midwinter, stripped to the waist, going, "Phew, it's bloody hot in here, like, you know." They all wear them Newcastle United shirts, like walking barcodes, you know. Cocks the till up at Tesco's like you can't believe it. And they've got a new curry in Newcastle called a magmaloo. Okay, now this is for real. And now I'm into my curries, okay, and I like them hot, you know, and you've all heard of vindaloo, and there's a hotter one than that called tindaloo, and the hottest curry I've ever had, other than this magmaloo, was called a farl. A farl. It's like swallowing a marine distress flare. That's why it's called a farl, because you have a couple of spoonfuls, you're going, farl be all right. So I've got some close friends in Newcastle, and after the gig they said, "Why, I Carrott, like, you know, we've got a new curry in Newcastle called a magmaloo. Phew, forget your vindaloo, tindaloo, big girls blues. Are you up for it?" So I said, yeah, leave me to it. So we went to this Indian restaurant. There's about 8 of us. We went in, and they ordered me a chicken magmaloo, see? And they all had magmaloos. So we sat there having a few drinks, you know. And after about 10 minutes, I heard this curry coming. And they served it in these bowls made out of shuttle re-entry tiles. I put my spoon in and it didn't come out. And I started to panic, you know, and I immediately ordered a side dish of savlon. And so I started to eat this magmaloo, and it had a bit of a delayed action, because I had about 4 spoonfuls, and I was thinking, well, I don't rate this. And my elbows went numb. And they were all watching me, you see. They're waiting for me to complain, and, you know, and I thought, no, the pride of Birmingham is at stake. I'm going to eat this, you see. And after a while, they left me alone. They started looking at each other, waiting for someone to complain so they could rip him apart. And this one bloke said, "Whoa, yeah, whoa, I've had hotter, like, you know." Everybody's mercury fillings are dribbling down the chin. And I'm the first to break. "Water! Oh, don't drink water, like Carrott, it'll make it worse." Too late, I'm halfway down the fish tank here. You know? Luckily, they kept the bog rolls in the fridge. Always the sign of a good Indian restaurant, you know. And I finished this magmaloo, I finished it, and next day, my arse. It felt like that map you see at the beginning of Bonanza. Everyone in the room under 35 is going, "What's Bonanza?" Well, restaurants are interesting. I mean, Chinese restaurants never ever change. They never change. All the waiters are in a hurry, and they're all tetchy. And whenever you go in, you're always mob-handed. You hardly ever go in 1s and 2s. It's always 8, 10s, 12, isn't it? You know. And you sit down, and the waiter comes and going, "What do you want?" Oh, like a menu. "Oh, bloody menu." And he doesn't walk away. He hovers, doesn't he? He hovers. You know, like you know, you should know what you want before you come in, and everybody panics. Order anything, 12.69s, anything. And you daren't ask him anything because they're so tetchy, aren't they? This special fried rice. Yeah. Is there any chicken in that? Yeah, chicken. Yeah, it's special. So, any bean sprouts? Yeah, bean sprouts, chicken. Yeah. Is there any water chestnuts? Yeah, water chestnuts, bean sprouts, chicken. Yeah, it's special. Is there any cement in it? Yeah, cement, chicken. Yeah. As soon as the Chinese waiter takes the order, as soon as the Chinese waiter walks away from the table, guaranteed one of your mob will impersonate a Chinese waiter. As if he's bloody deaf. He gets it every night of his life. What do you think he does? He walks straight into the kitchen, pisses in the soup. It's your own fault. What's all this pizza home delivery stuff? What's that about? Hello, pizza home delivery, Malcolm here. How can I help you? Guess. I'll have a 2-bedroom bungalow, please. Will you be wanting cheese with... Oh, shut up. And Italian restaurants, what a con they are. Italian restaurants. I mean, Mr. Carrott, welcome to Giovanni. It's an Italian restaurant with fantastic food. We have the pasta, you must have the pasta, obviously. The pasta is a fantastic food. Oh, vermicelli, spaghetti, lasagna, fettuccine. Oh, it's full of carbohydrates, full of minerale. Oh, is it? You've seen the ingredients on the side of a pasta packet, flour and water. They're charging you 25 quid for a plate of wallpaper paste. Would you like an Italian coffee, Mr. Carrott? Cappuccino is a fantastic Italian coffee. He's Italian, he's cappuccino. Oh, right. What's this shit? I want a cup of coffee, I don't want to shave. Cappuccino, it's Italian for here comes another mug. The worst restaurants are these American diners, you know? TGI Thursdays or something, or, you know, Soft in the Head Cafe. What they do is they go around all the other restaurants about 2 a.m. in the morning, raid the dustbins and serve the stuff to you next day. It's right, eh? Potato skins. It's potato peel, eh? With a slab of earwax in it, you know? Well, it ain't bloody cheese, is it? Unless it's French cheese. I don't eat French cheese. I buy it, I hang it in the garden, it keeps the flies out the house. Jumbo chicken wings. I'm sorry? Jumbo chicken wings. Chickens haven't flown for 2 million years. And spare ribs, of course they're spare. There's bugger all on them. Hey, you know what these things came wrapped in? Could I have some of that to eat, please? And what sauce do they put on spare ribs? You get it on your hands, you can't get the stuff off, can you? It'll give you who a run for its money. And what do they bring you to clean your hands with? A little bowl of water with a slice of lemon? You need 3 gallons of Swarfega to get this stuff off your hands. And you can order Mexican food. Oh, thank you, God. Chili con carne, guacamole. It looks as if it's been eaten already. That's where the Mexican wave comes from, Mexican restaurants. Because you're sitting there eating Mexican food and suddenly it's, hey! Where's the bog? It's too late. See? It works in California. In California, it works. In California, a 6'3" blonde waitress comes up on roller skates going, hi, my name's Randy. I'm your waitress for this evening. Tonight, my specials are Frisco Bay shrimp and Florida lobster tails. Have a nice day. It's just not the same in Redditch. Hello, my name's Noreen. Tonight I've got special crabs. Have a nice day. No one's had a nice day in Redditch since the Blitz. Anybody from Redditch? Have you done your sales shopping? You've been around Birmingham and done all that? Don't know. I went to Argos. I love going to Argos. It's staffed entirely by people who have failed their Woolworths exams. You got one of these? No. You got any of these? No. Have you got anything? Got a pen. And those are the staff they let you see. What's behind the customer collection point? A big Claude Anne comes over every so often. You can't beat Woolworths though, can you? Oh, I love Woolworths. I love going in when it's busy, a Saturday morning, you know, going up to one of the assistants and saying, excuse me, I've just put some anthrax in the pick and mix. It's not my counter. I was there, a couple of Christmases ago, and it was their jewellery department, you know, and there were two young ladies, they'd be about 15 or 16, and they were buying a crucifix, and they were looking at them, you know, and the one said to me, she said, "It's a bit plain, isn't it?" And she looked at me and she said, "Have you got one with that little bloke on it?" But I mean, Birmingham is like, this has got to be not one of the leading cities in the country, but I think the leading city in the country. It's time we were really proud of this city. I mean, like, I travel everywhere. It's got everything, you know. And London, I mean, what a waste of time that is, isn't it? Eh? I mean, Dick Whittington went to London thinking the streets were paved with gold. That's probably why they called him Dick. We get nothing from London, do we? You know, the government, papers, nothing, you know. And they nick everything. I mean, they nicked the Millennium Dome. That was our design, by the way. And then they nicked the National Stadium. And they gave the Commonwealth Games to Manchester. Liverpool's the city of culture. What did Birmingham get? The bloody Eurovision Song Contest. Fronted by Ulrika Johnson and Teddy Wogan. A Swede and a spud. There was no bloody Carrott, was there? No, I only live here. You know what? I went to London about 6 months ago. I went on that march to legalise cannabis. And not that I give a toss. I just went for the crack. Well, it started out as a march and it sort of ended up as a wander. You know. Keith Richards was on the march. Well, there's a surprise. He'd legalise E. coli if he could smoke it, wouldn't he? He looks as if he's had a post-mortem to me. What is weird, though, is if they do legalise cannabis, it will still be an illegal drug in sport. What they're saying is that cannabis is a performance-enhancing drug. I think you've got to be smoking it to come to a decision like that. What they're saying is that you can run 100 metres faster because you're on the weed. What? What? Yeah. What we doing down here? He's got a gun! They're testing all sports for drugs now, you know. Eh? Crown bowls. Them dodgy old geezers who play crown bowls, they're giving urine samples now. They don't mean to. I can't. Liverpool, the city of culture. I won't go into it because it sounds like sour grapes. But like the culture we've got in this city, you know, we've got the Royal Ballet and the Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, the Concert Hall, Shakespeare. It's fantastic. I mean, and we've had culture for centuries. I mean, Latin came from Birmingham. That's it. No, Latin came from Birmingham. I mean, you take the verb to listen, as in arc. Arcatus. Arcatum. Arcatim, arcateur. And Brummy's always asked one question with another. It's like, arcateur? Aye. And then we answer it, arcateur, aye? Ah. I mean, we've had some fantastic stuff here. We don't always get it right. I have to say that, you know. Do you remember when Clinton came here, the G8 summit? That was a bit of a farce, wasn't it? I mean, our council are brilliant, but I thought they got that one wrong. And because, like, he arrived at Birmingham Airport, and it was a very dry, hot spell. And that dual carriageway down the Coventry Road into Birmingham was like, you know, was really parched and brown. So the council, in their wisdom, decided to spray it with green paint. Right? And when Clinton came, it was a beautiful hot day, and all the Brummies were picnicking on the grass. And when Clinton drove past, all these little green Brummies were waving at him. And he arrived, and it was at the height of the Monica Lewinsky scandal, right? The height of the scandal. And where did the council put him up? The Swallow Hotel. Brilliant. Do you remember the Grand Prix around the streets of Birmingham? Remember Formula 2 racing cars going around the streets of Birmingham. I've lived here all my life and I can't find my way round, you know. What chance have they got? You know, 150 miles an hour backwards up her street. I found one of them going round and round Spaghetti Junction going, where's the pits? Where's the pits? Eh? Sheldon, it's about 7 miles. When you get on a bus, when the nutter gets on the bus, does the nutter always sit next to you? It's amazing, isn't it? We all suffer from it, you know. You're on a bus, you're minding your own business, it stops, a couple of people get on, then you hear the nutter coming up the stairs. Has anyone seen my camel? And everybody goes, oh no, it's a nutter. They start spreading out on the seat. The nutter always sits next to me. I must have this aura, you know, nutter lover or something. Because they always sit next to me. You know, is this anyone's seat? Yes, it is. Oh, good. And you can hear, when you get the nutter, you can hear the visible sighs of relief. And everybody else goes, thank God he's got the nutter. Cool, plump. I thought I was in for that one. I know what you mean. It was a close. It's a camel job. They're the worst, aren't they? And nutters have always got bags of things, and they start showing you things, going like, I've got Shirley Bassey's head here. And they give you a lava lamp. And of course, you know, everybody else can then enjoy it. You know, go, what's he doing? Oh, he's showing him Shirley Bassey's head. It's a lava lamp. Do you want a sandwich? No, thank you. Do you want a sandwich? Yes, please. And they give you, and go, what the hell's in this? Fish paste and hemorrhoid cream. Ugh. Fish paste? Good. I don't go on buses anymore, to be fair, but people say that, like, you don't get nutters on buses now, you know. And well, I'm not surprised. They're all driving minicabs or starring in the Osbournes. I knew Ozzy. I've known him for years. I knew him before he was into drugs and alcohol. He was 6. There are some strange people. You know. I find women strange. Well, no, nothing detrimental. You know that look women have when they're sexually aroused? No, neither do I. Woody Allen summed it up. He said that sex is like a game of bridge. If you haven't got a good partner, you need a damn good hand. Do for me, Woody. Sport has always been a major part of my life, particularly football, because I used to play it a lot in the earlier days. I played in all, Withall, Hockley Heath, all for them, and Billsley Lane Common on a Sunday morning. And I was a goalkeeper. Not a very good one, actually. In the end, they had to put a bell in the ball so I knew when it was coming. It worked for a while until I stomped a Morris dancer to death. And of course, we now have 2 Premiership sides in the city, which I think we should be very proud of. And Birmingham City doing very well. I have to say that. Thank you. Well, it's all right for you lot. It's knocked half an hour out me act. But I mean, over the years, Birmingham has served me with some wonderful material. I mean, in the bad old days. Do you remember when Barry Fry came here? The board prized him away from Southend United at great expense. And they brought him here to get us out the 2nd division. And to be fair, he was very successful, because in the first season we went down to the 3rd. They were grim days. I remember playing Grimsby, and at half-time it was 0-0. And I remember saying to the bloke standing next to me, "Oi!" It was embarrassing when we had the cameras there. We had to fake a riot between the police and St John's ambulance men. And of course, Birmingham City is famous for the Gypsy's Curse. Apparently there's a Gypsy's Curse on the club, which has stopped us being successful. And one of the managers who came, I'm not too sure who it was, I think it was Ron Saunders, got a gypsy along to lift the curse. And this gypsy was the 7th son of a 7th son of a 7th son. Powerful stuff. And the way he lifted the curse was to bring his whippet, taking round all 4 corner flags, and he whittled up each corner flag. And we promptly lost the next 7 games. And there was a very memorable match that I went to. This was in 1976. And there was no Premiership then, and Birmingham were in the 1st division. And the first game of the season was away at Old Trafford to Man United. And I went along. And in those days, Man United was a very sort of dangerous ground. You just shut up and you never wore anything other than red and white. And of course, in those days, Man United fans actually lived in Manchester. Exactly. And I took along with me a friend who was like a football rookie. And he'd been down to St Andrews about half a dozen times, and he wanted to come to an away game, you see. So I took him. And when I got there, I said, "Listen, when you come here, you just shut up and just behave yourself and don't do anything." He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, because they don't like it." He said, "Well, what are they going to do about it?" Don't find out. Don't find out. So it was a beautiful summer's day. And we sat there, and there was 57,000 capacity, a complete sea of red and white everywhere you looked. You couldn't see a blue and white scarf for love nor money. And, well, there was one, and there was a Birmingham City fan hanging from the end. So the game started, and everything was fine until after about 20 minutes, Birmingham City scored away from home, which just threw everybody, including the Birmingham City players. They went and got the ball out of the net and tried to kick off again. And it was then that I realised that all the Birmingham fans, all 200 of us that had dared to go, were sitting in exactly the same block of seats because we'd all bought them at St Andrews. And when the wall went in, we all went, "Yeah!" 57,000 people staring at you in silence. And then it started, you're going to get your kinhead kicked in. So all the Birmingham fans knew exactly what to do. Sit down, shut up, except my friend. And he kept getting up going, that's the way to do it, City, shove him up and show him how it's done. Come on, you blue boys. Look, I'm punching his face. He's going, what are you doing? I'm saving your life. He's going, what are you doing? I said, look, you don't come here and shout for the opposition. Why not? They don't like it. Well, what they're going to do? I said, shut up, just shut up. So anyway, about 20 minutes later, Man United equalised, so it was all right, I could go down the bog. And I went down, and my mate came because he was going to get some refreshments, and I said to him, look, whatever you do, don't say anything. Just don't say anything, because if they find out you're from Birmingham, you'll be in trouble. He said, well, how will they know I'm from Birmingham? So anyway, I went to the bar, I come back out, I'm looking for him. He's at the end of this counter. And he sees me, and he went, hey, Carrott! They've got now cow in Bovril! Hail Mary, Mother of God. I thought, I'll make his funeral arrangements, so the least I can do. But he got away with it because they thought he was taking the mick, you see. So I managed to get hold of him, get him upstairs, gave him another talking to. Anyway, a few minutes later, Man United got into the lead, and I thought, right, we're okay, and they started, they didn't bother to look at us. And you can never trust Birmingham to do what you want, can you? About 3 or 4 minutes before the end, they went and equalised. All the Birmingham fans went, yep. The end of the game came, and we'd won 2-2. And it was just at that time, I don't know if you remember, but BRMB, Birmingham's first commercial station, started up. And it spawned an icon of Birmingham broadcasting, a bloke called Tony Butler. You obviously know who I'm on about. And he was wonderful. He epitomised local radio, and he's got a thick Birmingham accent, and he couldn't give a toss about anything or anybody. Oh, Rome, you gooey, oh. And he used to have this wonderful programme on a Saturday afternoon while the games were on, And it used to continue. And quite often, driving home from the games, I always tuned into Butler because of the bozos that phoned in, And you going, Tone, eh? What about the Villa, eh? Yeah, what about him? Thanks, Tone. I was down the Blues today, Tone. Trevor Francis hit this one ball. If it had gone in the net, it would have been a goal. And you used to have these interminable quizzes with the most ridiculous questions, things like, who was born in 1948? That was it. That was the question, And I was with him one time. I was with live on a Saturday afternoon. I was in the studio with him. And he said, right, this week's question. And he opened up a book. And he said, which football team wears this badge on their shirt? And, the classic one. I had to stop the car with this one, I really did. The question was, who was born in 1948? That was the question, And I was driving home from the match, and it takes a while. And it must have been an hour and a quarter, and people had gone through every football you can imagine, and sportsman and politician, and no one had got it, But it was always worth sticking with Butler, always worth sticking with him, because there was always a classic every afternoon. And I was driving along, and he came off a commercial break. And he said, right, Muddish on line 4, what's the answer? And Muddish said, 1942, Tone. I'll have to pull over for this one, And Butler said, what are you on about? He said, the answer to your question is 1942. And Butler said, what you on about? The question was, who was born in 1948? He said it warn't. It warn't. The question was, what year was Bobby Moore born in? And Butler said, that was last week's question. And the bloke said, well, it's taken me a bit of time to get through. The classic gaffe. If ever it was released, it would be in the top 10. It was, I can't remember the year it was, but it was the year that West Bromwich Albion went from the second division to the first division, as was, not the Premiership. And it was the last game of the season, and Albion had to go to Oldham, and if they beat Oldham, they would go up into the first division. So obviously, this is a big day for BRNB and for Tony Butler, and he sent his top reporter up there called Harry Trethewey, who would report on the game, see. So on the air, he'd be like, and the Albion are playing really well, I think they're going to beat Oldham and they'll go up in the first division. And then off air, he'd go like, how's it going? Oh, yes, it's fine, Tone, yes, not a problem, I think they're going to do it. And then towards the end of the game, Butler got on the phone to Harry and he said, Harry, this is going to be really important. Go and get one of the Albion players and we'll do an interview. He says, it's all right, Tone, I've got John Osborne, the Albion goalkeeper, he's going to come and see me. I said, right. Hang on. So they go to a commercial break, he comes off and Butler says, what a fantastic day for the Albion. They've thrashed Oldham 1-0 and shot into the first division. Our man on the spot, Harry Trethewey, is talking to the Albion goalkeeper, John Osborne. Come in, Harry. Harry? Harry? And Harry came and said, Tone, he's pissed off. Football, great source of comedy. And of course, Birmingham City itself, although we're doing well, of course, we are owned by some interesting people. David Sullivan, who owns the Sunday Sport newspaper, and the Gold brothers, who own the Ann Summers chain of sex shops. You've got to see this season's kit. I've never seen crotchless shorts before, you know. It's a nightmare supporting them. Hey, great tackle, Brian. Oh, do you think so? Pull the centre forward off. You have to buy the programme in a brown paper envelope now. People often ask me, because of the profession I'm in, and I do meet, I'm very privileged, I meet a lot of famous people, well-known people. People say, who's impressed you? You know, who's the most impressive person you've met? And hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, was Lady Di, the Princess of Wales, without a shadow of a doubt. A terrific lady. And I met her in Birmingham because she was patron of a charity called Turning Point. And Turning Point is a charity that rehabilitates adolescents into drugs and alcohol. That's not right, is it? You smart arses. Okay. Kids who are into drugs and alcohol are rehabilitated. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. You're all full of yourselves. Anyway, they put on a fundraiser to raise funds for Turning Point, and it was held at the Metropole Hotel that's right next to the NEC. And it was a classical music evening featuring Nigel Kennedy, he of violin fame, playing Vivaldi's Four Seasons. And then afterwards there was a big banquet, you see. And they phoned me up and said, would I go along and draw the raffle? This is how big I am in this town. So I said, yeah, I'd love to. So I went along on the night, and it was a wonderful evening. I mean, it was all the ladies were in evening gowns, and all the blokes in dicky bows and dinner jackets, you know. And I've got a fabulous dinner jacket. It's got dinner all down the front. So I got there and they said, right, well, go into the VIP room, have a glass of champagne. The princess may come in and say hello to a few people, and then we'll start with the concert. So I said, thank you very much. So I'm in the VIP room, having a glass of champagne, talking to somebody, and I've got my back to the door. And when I tell people this, they don't believe me, but I assure you, this is exactly what happened. I've got my back to the door, and suddenly, there was this electricity in the room. It really was, just tangible, sort of like real buzz. And I thought, that's the princess. And I turned round, and sure enough, she'd come in. And she was stunning, absolutely stunning, jaw-dropping stunning. And I thought, blimey, you're all right. And she came in, and she started meeting a few people and talking. And I suddenly thought, whoa, blimey, supposing someone introduces me to her, what am I going to say? You don't want to say the wrong thing, it's Birmingham, I don't let the side down, you know. And I was thinking about it, but it was too late. It was too late because honestly, she saw me, she recognised me, and she came walking straight up to me and she said, hello Jasper, how are you? And I curtsied. And I thought, you prat. You absolute prat, what did you do that for? And she wasn't fazed at all. She'd met tosspots like me every day of her life. And she started talking to me. And I don't know whether this has ever happened to you, but someone's talking to you, but you haven't the faintest idea what you're on about or what they're on about, because your brain's going blah 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 blah. And I was thinking, say something, blah 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 blah. She'll think you're stupid. Say something, blah 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 blah. So I said, I've got 2 sheds in my garden now. And all the security around are going, oh, we'll get the tosspot out of here. But she just kept on talking. She wasn't fazed at all. She said, what's that on your jacket? Yorkshire pudding. She said, don't you like Yorkshire pudding? And I almost said, no, Fergie's brilliant. I almost said. Anyway, they hustled her away. And we went in. And, you know, the concert was about to start. And of course, they weren't classical music buffs there. They were there to be seen. It was 150 quid a ticket, you know, the second-hand car salesman, timeshare people. And I heard one brummie say, he said, well, I've got all the Four Seasons records, but who's this Vivaldi geezer? So Nigel does his stuff. He's brilliant. If ever you've seen Nigel, he is brilliant. He's off his top, I'm sure, but he is brilliant. And, you know, and everything went very well. And then when the concert finished, we went into the banqueting hall for the food. Now get this. I can't believe this. I'm on the top table. Hey? I'm on the top table with all the dignitaries, the Lord Mayor and the Princess is about 4 seats away. And I thought, blimey, I've arrived. And, I mean, I knew practically everybody in the room, you know, and I'm getting plenty of stick. Oh, blimey. Oh, the Carrott's on the top table. Oh, the Carrott's going up in the world, eh? Everybody tug your forelocks. It'll be Sir Jasper soon. Hey, Carrott. Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking around the room trying to foresee any problems, you know, because I know what I'm like. And the first thing I noticed is all this cutlery on the table. There was about 30 pieces, you know. And I thought, blimey, what do you do with it all? And everyone's having the same problem, you know. And there was a table down there, and this bloke said, hey, Carrott. I said, oh, hello, Roy. He said, what's all this cutlery for? I said, I don't know, there's a lot, ain't it? He said, you're telling me. You've been to these do's before. What do we use for what? I said, I don't know. He said, well, what am I going to do? You don't want to look stupid. Well, I said, I mean, what? Yeah. I tell you what I'll do. I'll see what the princess uses. Whatever she uses, we'll use. Brilliant. So what, the Carrott sorted it? Yeah, what's what the Carrott does? Yeah, the Carrott. Yeah, the Carrott. What's the Carrott? The Carrott. He's been to these dudes before. What's the Carrott? The Carrott. So the first course comes, and it's consommé. Oh, this goes down a bundle in Birmingham, doesn't it? What the bleeding hell's this? It's like weak Bovril with mouse shit in it. They done the washing up in this or something. Hey, Carrott, what do we eat this with? Oh, hang on a minute, hang on. And I look down, and the princess has got a fork in her hand. She's got a fork. A fork? It's a fork. 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 A fork. If the Carrott says so, he's been to these dudes before. It's a fork. 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 900 people start eating their consomme with a fork. I thought, this can't be right. And I looked at the princess, and she's got a spoon in her hand. And she's just about to eat a consomme, and she's looking round the room. Puts a spoon down, picks a fork up and starts eating the consomme. Well, the first course is about 2 hours. Chef was slitting his throat, you know. And they said to me I could draw this raffle after the main course, because the princess always goes after the first course. Well, don't you believe it? She's still sitting there, you know. She's having the time of her life here. She's dying to see what Brummies eat spotted dick with. This is what... That's the end of the show. Well, it isn't. You know as well as I know. No, you know, it's what happens now is that I walk off stage. I hang around there, you know, having the piss and things like that. And then you're all going berserk. Hooray, more, please come back, hooray, please, please, God, bring him back, hooray, more, 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 hooray, hooray. And then I come back on and I start again, okay? So we'll forget all that crap. I want you to help me out with something tonight. I want you to help me out. My kids are at home. No! No! Chelmsley Wood. They've changed it. It's now called North Solihull. I went there last week, visit me hubcaps. It was good. Look, I want you to help me out. My kids are at home tonight. My kids are at home. And, you know, they're going to say, oh, Dad, you know, let us know how you get on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pretend I'm backstage, okay, and when I give you the signal, just go mad, you know, more, hooray, boo, fantastic. And then the kids will think I've had a brilliant night, okay? You're not going to do it, are you? Well, I ain't. No, come on, do us a favour, come on. Hang on, when I give you some. Ah, yeah. Yep. Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm backstage. Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, I'll see you later. Thanks. Bye. I've just phoned Billy Connolly. Yeah. You're wonderful, thank you. I don't mean to be maudlin anyway. I'm going to dedicate tonight, seriously, to Bob Monkhouse. he was a dear friend and a great inspiration to me over all these years, you know. And, but it did question me. I was thinking like, well, how long have I got? Well, it's a fair question, isn't it? And, you know, because I'm getting on, you know, there's no two ways about it. I mean, when you're 18, you think that anybody over 40 just plays dominoes and smells a Vic. And when you turn 40, someone comes in the night and nicks your dress sense. You know, when you hit 40, you find yourself just walking past Littlewoods. And just momentarily staring at the menswear. You're thinking, nice cardi. And then when you're 40, you start to wear slippers, not ordinary slippers, but those tartan zip-up booty ones with the bobble on each foot, you know. And as you get old, you can wear anything you like, you know, tea cozies, you know, loft insulation. And you don't have to queue anymore, you just walk straight to the front and you go, hey, 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 old. And I thought, well, hang on. I worked it. I thought, well, given a fair wind, you know, give or take a few years, say 25 years left to live. 25 years left to live. And then I did some mathematics, and I realised that that is 9,000 days. Now, that doesn't sound long, does it? 9,000 days to live. And then I thought, hang on a minute, what's living? I mean, for a start, you're going to be asleep for probably at least a third of that. There's 3,000 plus days. Then you've got to go to work. That ain't living, is it? There's another 3,000. I thought, blimey, I've got less than 3,000 days left to live. And then I thought, no, hang on. What about all the time you waste, you know, looking for key fobs and God knows what? And Sundays are a waste of time. I mean, you do sod all on a Sunday, don't you? You get up in the morning with a bloody great hangover from the night before, you know, you stagger down to the pub for the hair of the dog, and like by the time you've drank the equivalent of a Dual-X paint dog, you know, you're staggering back home again to fall asleep. And you wake up just in time to see the Antiques Roadshow. And that brushes you off because you realise you're older than most of the stuff they're trying to evaluate. And there's 1,200 Sundays, you know. And then I thought, well, hang on, driving, you've got to drive. What's that, you know, what 2 hours a day? Well, 4 if you live in Redditch. And then I thought of, like, you know, all the other sort of bodily functions. You've got to go to the toilet. I don't want to get too crude about it, but what's that? Actually, like, you know, 2-3 minutes a time, 6 times a day. I thought, blimey, that's 3 months on the bog. I'll be Britain's answer to David Blaine. No eggs, please, no eggs, and certainly no golf balls. And I thought, like, I worked it out. I've got 15 days left to live. I thought, no, sex. You've got to have sex. What's that? You know, what, 12 seconds a week? All right, forget the foreplay. 9 seconds a week for 25 years, that's 24 hours of solid orgasm. Blimey, what a day that's going to be. God's got a sense of humour with his ratios, hasn't he? 1 full day of carnal knowledge and 3 months on the bog. And I thought, blimey, I've got 14 days left to live. And people say to me, how committed are you to this city? And I say, how committed am I to this city? I've got 14 days left to live. I'm going to spend the entire time entertaining brummies. Which brings me on to this. Had a lot of requests for these. These are motor insurance claim form statements. I feel like Andy Williams. If you don't know what we're on about here, what happens is, I've been collecting these since 1969, seriously. What happens is, if you drive round in your cars and on bikes, you have accidents. And when you have an accident, the insurance company sends you a claim form, which you fill in, name, address, and on the back, a big empty space, says at the top, give in your own words a description of how the accident occurred. And this is where you get your chance to write your version down, you know, which is probably totally different from everybody else's. And it always starts off with, I was driving at 28 mile per hour. And I found some more in Australia. That's actually what I'm going to get round to. But what I'll do first, I'll read you some English ones to give you some idea of the way it goes. And these are genuinely, and I mean genuinely, I've checked it out, these are genuinely what people have written on their claim forms when they've had an accident and sent into these insurance offices in London. Going to work at 7 a.m. this morning, I drove out of my drive straight into a bus. The bus was 5 minutes early. Coming home, I drove into the wrong house and collided with a tree I hadn't got. The accident was caused by me waving to the man I hit last week. I knocked over a man. He admitted it was his fault had he been knocked down before. And then I'm in Australia, okay? I'm in Melbourne, and I'm reading a paper called The Melbourne Age. And much to my delight, they do exactly the same things in Australia as we do, only much better. Australian motor insurance claim form statements. The pedestrian had no idea which direction to run, so I ran over him. I told the police I was not injured, but on removing my hat, I found I had a fractured skull. The bloke was all over the road. I had to swerve a number of times before I hit him. I had been driving for 40 years when I fell asleep at the wheel. I saw a slow-moving, sad-faced old gentleman as he bounced off the bonnet of my car. I'm not so sure about this one. I saw two kangaroos copulating in the middle of the road. I hit them, causing me to ejaculate through the sunroof. I've got 4 kids, as it happens, and nothing prepares you for parenthood. There ought to be an A level in it or something, you know. You can have a go. I think so, because I mean it's just trouble right from the. I remember my kid being born, and I was in the delivery room, you know, and I'm not very good with blood, and I told the midwife what she couldn't care less, and when all the blood started, I just fainted. I just went out on the floor. And I woke up just in time to see the afterbirth coming out. You know? I thought, what an ugly bastard. And I heard the midwife say, he looks just like his dad. But nothing prepares you, does it? You know? And my daughter came home last month with a yo-yo, and I think his name was Gavin. 6'3" troglodyte with a forehead that kept the rain off his feet. You know? He had anarchy tattooed on it because he couldn't spell anarchy. I mean, I always said I would never do what my parents did. No. You know, none of that punishment, none of that discipline. I would bring my children up liberally, with a capital L. They would know right from wrong instinctively because of the way I had brought them up. I wouldn't have to shout at them. No. I wouldn't have to chastise them. No. There's a pig. I do exactly what my parents did, you know. It's just the parameters change, that's all, you know. I'm saying to my daughter, oi, if you're not in by 7 a.m, there will be trouble. My mum used to say to me, don't go out without your cap. Don't go out without your cap. I'm saying to my daughter, don't go out without your cap. I send my son out with 2 condoms attached to a piece of string. Goes up this sleeve here. Yes, you might look stupid, but it'll save your life. There you go. And then they get to 13, and something happens to the brain, doesn't it? It switches over, and suddenly they can't speak English. And they just grunt at you. Oh, I can't work day. Oh, I can't the floor. They only know 2 words, no and wallet. Have you done your own work? No, wallet. What do you want money for? I was down the top for my time. And teenagers in particular, teenagers do not understand irony. They do not understand irony. I mean, they are young, they've got all this energy, all this vitality, and what do on a bright Saturday afternoon? They spend hours on end in a Burger King, staring out the window going, he's sad. You try and talk to him, but it's open, isn't it? Hi everybody, what's happening with the music scene, you know? Oh, look, I might be over 26, but I can have an intelligent conversation. Look, I can do things you can't. What? I can accept sweets from a stranger. 3 a.m. in the morning, I know the difference between the wardrobe and the lavatory. And then you get home and you've got teenagers and you've got grandparents. And they're both the same. They both hate you. Anything to make your life a misery. Turn the music up to 16 million decibels. Neither of them have got a job. They're both on drugs. And they do the same things, but you treat them differently. Grandma comes home, she's had her hair dyed blue. You go, oh, lovely. You look 10 years younger. Your daughter comes home with green hair. Get down the hairdressers and wash that shit out of your hair. Your kid slides down the banister, you give him a right rollicking. 2 weeks later, you're paying out £1,500 for the machine so Grandma can slide up the banister. 3 a.m. in the morning, Grandad can't tell the difference between the lavatory and the wardrobe. 3 o'clock, they're both in there, pissing on my shoes. It's not funny. And you've got to come to terms with the sexual morals of the day. I mean, like, you know, in the 60s, we were like nuns compared to them today. I mean, they're like gerbils. And, well, you just keep being amazed. I found some love hearts. Do you know those sweets, love hearts? Yeah, if you don't, they're flat sweets shaped like hearts, and there's little messages on that you give to your boyfriend and your girlfriend. I had them as a kid. I used to do it, you know. I love you. Be mine. You're my dreamboat. Have you bought some lately? I'm gagging for it. Tongue my box. Sorry, I'm a lesbian. And I've got 3 daughters, you see. I'd take her out, she's almost ready. I've got 3 daughters, and I've been reading women's magazines to try and get some idea as to the way women think. Yes, it's a waste of time. But at least, you know, I'm giving it a go. Well, you do odd things, ladies. I have to say that, you know. I mean, you pluck your eyebrows. I've never figured that out in years. You get a great big pair of tweezers, yank out every single hair with incredible amounts of pain, and when you finish, you get a big black crayon and you fill the damn things back in. And why do you wear tights? Have you seen what they do to a bank raider's face? What are these spots here? These G spots, you know, erotic zones or something? Tonight he might suck my wrists. You're getting ready at night, you look like grasshoppers. And women, you've got a smelly for every part of your body. Well, you have. Blokes haven't. Well, we don't. I'm waiting for Peony Fresh to come out. With a bit of luck, it'll be a roll-on. These women's magazines, lads, you do give them a go, because like it's full of questionnaires, and the questionnaires are always about men, you know. And the main question is always, ladies, what is it that you first look for in a man? Number one answer every single time is good sense of humour. Bullshit. Okay, ladies, you walk into a bar. Standing at the bar is Kevin Costner, not renowned for his sense of humour, but he's having a drink and he's talking to Ken Dodd. Who are you going to choose, Robin Hood or Robin the Taxman? And intuition, you're big into intuition. Women are more intuitive than men. This has been now medically proven. I always thought that was the case. But men have their moments, we have our moments when we can be intuitive. When we come home at night, we put the key in the door, we intuitively know we're in trouble. Our clothes are neatly laid out on the lawn. And you've changed the lock. And we intuitively know when you've had an orgasm. It's that look on your face when you come home. But what you are good at in these women's magazines is all the preventative measures that you take for your health, you know. I mean, you know, you do all those tests and all the field stuff. And I mean, blokes are in the dark ages. We don't do any of that at all. In fact, these magazines encourage women to tell their boyfriends and their husbands to feel their testicles every 6 months to see if there's anything odd growing. 6 months? Ladies, we feel ourselves so often, we'd know if there's a new hair coming out. 6 months. And hormone replacement therapy, HRT. This is baffling me, probably a lot of other blokes in the room. You see, ladies, for years you blame hormones for all those odd mood swings that you have, you know? You haven't eaten your breakfast. Oh, I was just about to... No, you won't. You were going to take it to that floozy next door, weren't you? You put milk in my tea. You always have milk. I know. But today I've changed my mind and you didn't know because you don't care. You've hidden the knives again, haven't you? And that question every man dreads, you know? Well, what do you think? What? What do we do? Oh, please, God. Oh. New shoes. What? 4 hours in the hairdressers and you didn't notice? Out comes the hedge trimmer, down your tie rack. Oh, you didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. You're a cretin. It's a bit over the top. I never go over the top. Have I ever gone over the top? When have I gone over the top? Well, last month you drove the car out the garage without opening the door. Ha! I make one mistake and I hear about it for the rest of my life. Yes, but it wasn't our car and it wasn't our garage. And then, when you get to 50-something and you've run out of hormones, what do? You go to the doctors and he fills you back up again. Hello, I've had my hormone replacement therapy. Mum is home.